and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Today's video is the next in a series that I've been doing. I mean, it's been going on for a really long time. I was inspired by Lena of the channel Lena Norms and her sort of bookshelf tour by Rainbow. So I've been working through, and my bookshelves are arranged by Rainbow. You'll see there's some missing here in the colour of their spine, and I've been showing you guys through my books, which I really enjoy doing because it's a way to sort of like reacquaint myself with some books. You guys can maybe see if there's anything you like in them, and yeah, I've been doing this. Well, I've done two, so I've done pink and green. I will link those down below. I filmed blue, but I don't know what I've done with it because it isn't up on my channel, so I'll need to do that again. And today I was due to do yellow, but I thought, well, I'm sort of dressed a little bit orange nails, orange lips. Does this count as orange? So I thought I'd do orange instead. However, orange includes anything from sort of dark yellow to gold, as well as orange. So we'll work our way through, but let's work our way through. Let's do it. So first book we've got, this is a proof copy of Heatstroke by Hazel Barkworth. This came out in May 2020. Now, when I pulled this off the shelf, I was like, oh, I'm never going to read that. Maybe I should get rid of it. But however, the quotes on it are by people whose books I love. Kieran Millward Hargrave says stylish and sensual. Kirsten Innes says compulsive, sticky and full of gorgeous writing. Claire McIntosh says unsettling, challenging and utterly immersive. And yeah, I believe it's a murder mystery set in the summer when it's really, really hot. So maybe I will leave that to read this summer. And if I don't read it this summer, then I'll get rid of it. So that's the first one. As I said, next one is a gold spine, white on front, gold on spine. We're looking at the spines. The spines are the things that count in these rainbow bookshelf tours. This is What Happened by Hillary Rodham Clinton. My friend Emma lent this to me, and I still haven't read it. She lent it to me probably about a year ago. I need to find out if she needs it back. And this is Hillary Clinton's, well, I believe it's her, I don't know if it's just her memoir or if it's what happened after she lost the 2016 election. Yeah, sorry, so it's the story of that campaign and its aftermath, both a deeply intimate account and a cautionary tale for the nation. So yeah, that will be interesting when I get around to read it. This is a book that I've had for so long, and I first became aware of it because it was longlisted for the Women's Prize many years ago. However long ago, I don't know. When was this published? I say many years ago. It probably wasn't that long. Oh, 2016. And this is set in 1949, and it's a story. It's called The Dark Circle by Linda DeGrant, and it is the origin stories of the NHS. And this, and in particular, to do with TB. Do you know what? I'm actually going to leave this out because I would like to read it, and I keep going on about how I'm going to read it. I think this has probably been one of those books that's been on my TBR the most over the years, and I've never got around to reading it. So I'm going to leave that one out on a separate pile. I've got Diary of a Lone Twin by David Loftus. Now this is a memoir. David Loftus, I am aware of David Loftus as he is a food photographer, and he does a lot of food photography for my favourite, well, one of my favourite chefs, Jamie Oliver, but also he's been doing a lot of work with Rukmini recently, who is the author and the cook behind the Green Roasting, the Roasting Tin books. Oh, I call it the Green Roasting Tin because that's my favourite one. But yeah, David Loftus is a twin, and his twin brother died very tragically as a youngster, and this is a diary of a year in David Loftus' life after having lost his brother. And yeah, it's got, like, as you would expect, with, oh no, I don't think he died very young. I think he died maybe slightly, like, old. I don't know how old he was when he died. But yeah, and as expected for somebody who is a photographer, there's plenty of photographs and things throughout this. So yeah, that sounds very moving and interesting. So next one up is You People by Nikita Lalwani. Now I bought this last year at the beginning of the lockdown, and I haven't read it, and it's set in a pizzeria. I always struggle with the word pizzeria. I always want to say pizzeria, but I mean pizzeria. And it's an Italian pizzeria run by Sri Lankan chefs. The kitchen staff are all from different countries, so sort of like a mishmash of people. I really like this front cover, which has got sort of like pizza slices with different backgrounds, like relative to where that person might be from. So there's a map and there's some different fabrics from different countries, and yeah, it's yeah, it sounds really great. And do you know what, I'm going to leave that one out as well to read. So yeah, there's two more books I definitely know I want to leave out for this as well. So it does well for this because it gets me TBR sorted for next month. The next one is The Female Persuasion by Meg Waltz. This was sent to me by the publisher again when it was published. I don't know when that was. 2018. Now I really love this cover, and I've heard really good things about Meg Waltz, but I've never read anything by them. This is, it says here, Greer Cadetsty is a shy college novel, quite like those, when she meets the woman who will shape her life. Faith Frank, dazzlingly persuasive and elegant, has been the pillar of the women's movements for decades, a figure who inspires others. Hearing Faith speak for the first time in a crowded campus chapel, Greer, misunderstood yet full of longing for ambition that she can't quite place, feels herself changed, and then astonishingly, Faith invites her to make something out of this new sense of purpose, with a career opportunity that leads her down the most exciting and rewarding path as it winds towards and away from her meant-to-be love story with high school sweetheart Corey and the future she had always imagined. So yeah, it says it asks questions about powerhood and influence, ego and loyalty, womanhood and ambition, in a moving story about the figures and experiences that shape our lives and the romantic ideals we take into adulthood. That also sounds good. I'm not going to add that to the pile for next month, but that does sound very good. This one is going on the pile for next month. This is a proof copy of Kazuo Ishiguro's new book, Klara and the Sun. I received this recently because the book came out March. It's March now. And I planned to read it soon, but then listened to Kazuo on the Adam Buxton podcast and loved, I mean, I love the Adam Buxton podcast anyway, but loved listening to that interview and was like, I'm going to pick that up soon. So I'm going to read that in April. It's about AIs, and yeah, it just sounds like it's going to be really good. And the interview was brilliant. So that is one that I am hanging on to. Then I've got 3 books from the same series. Now, as I said, these range from sort of like oranges to browns. Like, would this count? But because it stays with these guys, that's why it stays. So these are from Virago. I don't know what the actual series is, but they're all classical coming of age stories. And how I found out about these books is because I got out from the library a Sarah Waters book. Which one was it? Oh my god, it's just like the main one. The main one that I really loved. Oh, Tip in the Velvet. I think it was Tip in the Velvet, and saw that it came in this beautiful edition, and then saw on the back that they had, oh, I can see here, it was Tip in the Velvet, and see that they had these, and I managed to pick these up in second-hand shops, and also I think at the Whitstable bookshop as well, they had a couple of these. So I haven't read any of these. Also, I should mention, most of these books behind me are unread, because any books, I tend to hang on to books if I love them, and they go to the top. You can't see here, but that's where my favourite shelf is. And if I didn't love them, then I give them to friends or family, or donate them. But yeah, so I've got My Brilliant Career by Miles Franklin, and as I said, all of these are coming of age stories. This one is set on a farm in the Australian outback. Invitation to the Waltz by Rosamund Lehman, and this is about Olivia Curtis, who receives a diary for innermost thoughts on her 17th birthday. Yeah, and then Slammerkin by Emma Donoghue, which is about Mary, who's the daughter of a poor seamstress, longs for fine clothes as her neighbours hunger for food and warmth. And this is set in 1700s London. So yeah, another great selection of books. God, when will I get round to reading those? Because I do want to read those. Next up, I've got a crime thriller by Nikki French. Jen kindly sent me this. So Jen introduced me to the Nikki French books via the Frida Klein series. I've read all that series, and I've since read a couple more of Nikki French's books. Nikki French is a husband-wife writing team, and they write crime thrillers. David's just actually got into their books as well. He's just read... What was the name of that Nikki French book you read? You listened to the audiobook of, David?
The Lying Room.
The Lying Room, and he's got House of Correction to listen to as well. But we've actually got one here. Oh, he's back. He's watching a film. And this is Secret Smile. So this is one of Nikki French's books from the before they released the. Yeah, I think before they released the Frida Klein series. So yeah, another great one. And then another crime thriller. This is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. Now I bought this because for my Patreon book club, we did a sort of, I picked 2 Ruth Ware books for October last year because we wanted to read like a crime thriller. This one didn't win, and then I didn't get round to reading it, but I did enjoy the other one. I mean, I feel like we've this sort of book, you have to sort of suspend, everything sort of falls into place quite well in terms of like a crime thriller thing, like, oh, you just happen to be in the right place at the right time to be able to solve it. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I feel like I will get round to that eventually. This book I bought second hand, and this is the third in the series. This is Reasons to be Cheerful by Nina Stibbe, and I didn't realise it was the third in the series when I bought it. I just thought, oh, it sounds great. And the two before this are Man at the Helm and Paradise Lodge. Now, I bought it because I had read Love Nina, which is non-fiction about Nina's time as a live-in nanny to a family in London, and I really enjoyed that. And then off the back of that, I bought An Almost Perfect Christmas, which again is non-fiction and sort of like accounts of Nina's Christmases over the years. So I had enjoyed Nina's writing, which is why I bought this. And then when I bought it, I didn't realise it was the third in the series. So it's hanging around because I will get round to it. I just don't own, or maybe I should get them on Libby, you know, and read the first two in the series. So I will do that. Then I've got English August by Purmanu Chatterjee, and this was sent to me by the publisher. It's Faber, and this is about Agasta Sen, who's known to his friends by the English name August, is a child of an Indian elite. His friends go to Yale and Harvard. August himself has just landed a prize government job which takes him to Madna, a town with the highest temperatures in India, deep in the sticks. There he finds himself surrounded by incompetents and cranks, time wasters, bureaucrats and crazies. What to do? Get stoned, shirk work, collapse in the heat, stare at the ceiling. Dealing with the locals turns out to be much easier than living with himself. English Authored is a comic masterpiece from contemporary India. Sounds very, very interesting. Itchy eye. Next up I've got The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. So I read Practical Magic maybe the year before last. I think maybe the year before last, and really enjoyed it. And then bought, like before I'd even finished Practical Magic, bought The Rules of Magic. I read, oh look, I can show you how much I read. I read 64 pages of it and then just sort of put it down. If you've read Practical Magic, this follows, that follows two sisters, but this follows the two aunts of those sisters, and their brother as well, whose name, he's got a strange name. Jet? No, Jet. I can't remember the name. I thought they had strange names. But yeah, so yeah, I think I will go back to this, but I don't know why I put it down in the first place, but I will definitely give it a go because I enjoyed the sort of like warmth of it, I guess. Next up is one of those dark orange, dark yellow spines. This is Me and White Supremacy by Layla F. Said, and this is a book about, it says here, how to recognise your privilege, combat racism and change the world. Now, sadly, I haven't started this yet, but I want to commit myself to 30 days where I can actually do this because it's a sort of workbook almost. It gives you things to do every day, and activity sounds a bit thing, doesn't it? But like things to do. It tells you to keep a journal and stuff like that. And I guess I bought it with absolutely every plan to do this and then just never did it. So I'm gonna leave this out and I will start this soon as well. And then the next book is Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man by Emmanuel Acho. And this is, guess what it says on the tin, this was said to be by the publisher, and yeah, it's all about, sort of takes all sorts of questions, be them sort of like questions, big questions and small questions, and puts them to Emmanuel, and he gives you the truth about them. So that sounds great as well. Next up is Orange Horses by Maeve Kelly, and I bought this after watching one of Aoife's video. Aoife from Words of Clover, she's one of the hosts of the Irish Readathon, which is one of my favourite readathons that goes on in March every year. And most recently, actually, she's done a video, and I believe this is where I got the idea, where I got this book from, is where she matches booktubers with Irish books. And I think when she filmed her first book in the series of this, Aoife, if you're watching this and this is wrong, please do correct me in the comments below. She recommended this book to me, which is a collection of short stories by, are they all by Maeve Kelly? I think they are. Yeah, so they're all by Maeve Kelly. Now, I bought this, this was published in 1990 and it's not actually published anymore, so I bought this second hand, and I think this is by an Irish press, Tramp Press. Yes, it is. And recently I've read another book of theirs that was published called A Ghost in the Throat. Now, I will get round to reading this. I took it on holiday with me once I bought it to read when I went to the Lake District a couple of years ago, and then started it, I think, and then never got any further with it. So I need to read that. Then I've got a new book which is out in May this year, and that's Catch the Rabbit by Lana Batazic. And this is a book that I am keeping out because I want to read it as part of the Reading Women Challenge. I'm just finding out the actual prompt that I'm going to be reading this for. Oh yeah, so this is an author from Eastern Europe. So yeah, and so she's Yugoslav born, and this is translated by the author as well. So yeah, and it says here on the front, Lewis Carroll meets Elena Ferrante in a balkanised wonderland. And it's about two friends who go on a road trip, and them sort of rediscovering their friendship and everything that happens on between. So that's staying out as well. Oh, they're all staying out, aren't they? Another one from the publisher is Amnesty by Aravind Adiga. And this is, this sounds really good as well. Don't want to leave this one out as well. So this is a sort of like crime thriller type book. Maybe not a thriller, but yeah, like your Danny, who is living as an undocumented Sri Lankan immigrant in Sydney, working as a cleaner, and one morning he learns that his one of the clients has been murdered, and a jacket was left at the scene of the murder, and Danny knows who that jacket belongs to. So does he go to the police with the information that he's got and risk himself being deported, as he's living in Sri Lanka as an he's living in Australia as an undocumented immigrant, or does he just keep stum and not do anything about it? So yeah, it sounds like a really interesting premise. And then I've got Vintage Sweets book by Angel Adore, and David's sister bought me this for my birthday last year. Now Angel is the one of half of the Escape to the Chateau pair. I haven't really watched that series, but what I have seen, and my sister really loves it, I've really enjoyed, and I do feel like I should get into watching it more. But anyway, she's made this cookbook about how to make vintage sweets, but also it's not just how to make vintage sweets. So like, here's how to make marshmallows, wine gums. There's also like how to make things that you would serve them in. It's all beautifully illustrated and like written about. And yeah, I got it for my birthday. Look at those terrifying old sweet jars. I've got it for my birthday, and I've done no more than look at it briefly. So yeah, I need to have a good sit down with that and make myself some sweets, so long as they ain't got gelatine in them. And then the last book, oh god, every time I lift this up I can't believe how heavy this is. This is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, and this is the illustrated edition of The Secret Garden by Mina Lima. Now I was sent this when the film of The Secret Garden came out last year, and it's just one of the most beautiful things I own. It is populated with some of the most beautiful, and I won't show you it all, but like the story, it is the story of The Secret Garden, and then in it, I don't know how to show you this without ruining things, it's just got like little cards and bits throughout. Like some of these it is going to be hard to show you, because some of them are like for instance this snake that comes out of the book, and it's just so pretty, and it's so heavy because there's just so much in here, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I've never read The Secret Garden. Me and my sister used to have the BBC adaptation on video when we were younger, and David and I recently watched the film of it, the recent film of it with Colin Firth, which we didn't actually like that much. But yeah, I must visit this book as well, and it's just beautiful. So yeah, imagine. So yeah, those are my orange books. Let me know if you've read any of these books. I've got 5 books out. They're going to go on my pile for next month's TBR. Go me. And I'll see you all again soon for another butchery video. Got to put these back on that little hole now. Bye!